The moment you decide to abandon falsehoods, to confront both yourself and the world with unflinching honesty, you unlock a version of yourself previously obscured by layers of deception. This transformation is not merely about moral alignment. It's a profound psychological shift that redefines your existence. By confronting problems directly, without the veil of lies, you reveal a resilient, authentic self, capable of navigating life's complexities with clarity and strength. Self-deception is a pervasive and insidious force. It's the act of convincing yourself that falsehoods are true simply because they make you more comfortable. It's easier to live inside an illusion than to face reality. But the more you lie to yourself, the weaker you become. Every time you look in the mirror and pretend that your failures aren't your fault, you are chipping away at your own strength. History is littered with the wreckage of men who refuse to face reality. Napoleon Bonaparte's downfall came because he refused to accept that he wasn't invincible. He invaded Russia in the winter, convinced that his army would crush the opposition. He lied to himself, and it cost him everything. Adolf Hitler ignored every sign that his empire was crumbling, holding on to delusions of invincibility until it was too late. These men were not weak in ambition or action, but their refusal to see truth led to their complete destruction. Engaging in self-deception has profound psychological consequences. Lying to yourself creates a war in your mind. One part of you knows the truth, but the other part refuses to acknowledge it. This creates mental stress, which over time builds into anxiety, depression, and overwhelming self-doubt. Lying affects self-esteem and emotions, leading to negative psychological outcomes. When individuals deceive themselves, they create a dissonance between their perceived and actual selves, resulting in feelings of inadequacy and internal turmoil. You will feel like something is off, but you won't even be able to pinpoint why, because the lie has become part of you. Moreover, maintaining falsehoods requires cognitive resources, as individuals must constantly navigate and uphold their fabricated realities, leading to mental exhaustion and reduced cognitive efficiency. The more you lie, the weaker you become, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. Embracing radical honesty means refusing to tell yourself comforting lies. This practice fosters self-awareness as individuals confront their true thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without the distortion of deception. The second you stop bullshitting yourself, your entire reality shifts. You stop excusing your failures, and instead, you start learning from them. You stop blaming others for your problems, and instead, you start taking action. Sharing honestly what you notice also deepens love, connection, understanding, and forgiveness. By eliminating the barriers created by deception, individuals can experience more authentic and fulfilling relationships, both with themselves and others. Great leaders have always understood the power of truth. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman emperors, practiced radical honesty through Stoicism. He wrote daily reflections on his failures, weaknesses, and the harsh realities of life. He didn't hide from truth. He embraced it. This allowed him to rule with clarity, wisdom, and strength, rather than being blinded by ego and self-deception. Deception, whether directed toward yourself or others, places a significant cognitive burden on your mind. Studies have shown that self-deception reduces cognitive function because it forces the brain to constantly manage contradictions. This drains mental resources that could be used for productivity, strategic thinking, or personal development. When your mind is burdened with lies, it becomes inefficient. You begin to make impulsive decisions, fall into patterns of procrastination, and slowly become a man who drifts through life rather than commanding it. Every second spent maintaining a lie is a second that could have been spent building your empire. Self-deception doesn't just destroy your internal world, it also wrecks your relationships and reputation. When we are self-deceived, we see others falsely. We lose sight of them as human beings with needs and hearts and start seeing them as obstacles to our happiness. This leads to miscommunication, distrust, and broken relationships. You've seen men like this before. The guy who refuses to admit he's wrong, who is always blaming his girlfriend for the problems in their relationship while refusing to acknowledge his own flaws. The businessman who thinks the market is rigged against him while refusing to admit that he hasn't adapted his strategy. The athlete who blames the referee instead of improving his game. Weak men live in lies. Strong men own their reality and adjust accordingly. The road to becoming an authentic, powerful man begins with brutal self-honesty. There is no other way. You have to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and dissect your flaws without ego. Accept that everything is your fault. This doesn't mean other people don't contribute to your problems. It means that your response is always your responsibility. Identify the lies you've been telling yourself. Are you pretending that you're working hard when you're barely scratching the surface? Are you lying to yourself about your potential, about your failures? Expose every single lie. Change your actions, not just your thoughts. Acknowledging the truth isn't enough. You have to move. You have to fix what's broken, cut off what's holding you back, and execute with ruthless efficiency. Choosing to live truthfully offers numerous psychological benefits. It enhances self-awareness, as individuals gain a clearer understanding of their desires, motivations, and limitations. This self-awareness fosters better decision-making, as choices are made based on an accurate assessment of oneself and one's environment. Additionally, living authentically reduces stress and anxiety associated with maintaining falsehoods, promoting mental clarity and emotional stability. Over time, this practice can lead to increased self-esteem and a more profound sense of inner peace, as individuals no longer carry the burden of deception. At the core of this philosophy is one irrefutable reality. No one is coming to fix your life for you. You can continue lying to yourself, making excuses, avoiding the truth, and nothing will change. Or you can stand up, look yourself in the mirror, and say enough. The moment you embrace absolute truth is the moment you step into your true power. Lies weaken you. Truth makes you dangerous. And in a world where weak men get eaten alive, you must decide, will you live in truth and become unstoppable? Or will you continue lying to yourself and die as just another forgotten name? The choice is yours.